What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, aka 1/3 of the New Day. You're not gonna say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
I have no fire or desire. I'm Jem.
Ooh, this is our SmackDown in review. And this comes at you every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. Now, Jem, I'm going to have to address that later. Like, holy shit, that was really dark.
I know.
If you want to join the wrestling conversation, head over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/thepopculturist. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, all those links are in the down below area. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you can watch us record this show as it happens. One thing we'd like you to do is, if you'd be so kind, to share the conversation. Tell your friends, tell your family about this little wrestling podcast. Josh Robinson, 00 there for the host. Thank you very much, my friend. Look, we understand that it's difficult times right now, but if you want to support us financially, patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Now, Jem, this week we did have another shirt be sold.
Whee!
So last time, we talked about this last week in For the Players. That's our PlayStation pod for those playing at home. And we sold an Emu War shirt. This week, we sold one of the Wrestling It's Better Than the Things You Like shirt.
Yes,
I love that shirt, but then I remembered how incredibly condescending that shirt is. And then I was like, I still love that shirt very much.
Yeah, very much.
So, Jem, how are you, apart from very depressing opening there?
I had nothing else, okay? I'm talking on here. No, I'm good. I'm pretty tired. As most people know, I have started studying and it is quite full on, so my brain's a little bit fried, but I'm doing all right.
That's because she is a power phlebotomist now.
I am a power phlebotomist.
But, Jem, today we are here to talk SmackDown. Now, I address this on the social medias. We haven't forgotten about the horrible things that happened last week with upwards of 30 plus WWE employees losing their jobs, being released from their contracts, being furloughed. It's also come to the attention that's like 40%, upwards of 40% of WWE staff will be furloughed or released or fired in the coming X amount. Now, thankfully, as of time of recording, no more positions have been lost, which is fantastic. So that's awesome. That's awesome to hear so far. However, the difficult part is the show must go on. So we will continue to do this show as we do. So, Jem, let's get this started. I lost my phone. Where's my phone? Where's the thing? Here it is. Here. Look, speaking of horrible things happening, we will mention that the show did start with a memorial picture for Howard Finkel. He is one of the legendary, what are they called?
Ring announcers.
Oh, I haven't heard that noise in almost forever. I heard this random coin flip. I'm like, what sound is that? So for those of you watching at twitch.tv/thepopculturist, that coin noise is when one of our lovely viewers decides to donate some money to us. And Josh Robinson has donated $4 dues. He goes, it's not much, but here is something to show my love. Thank you very much, Josh. Thank you so much. Now, Josh is a fellow wrestling podcaster, so be sure to go check out his network of shows at the Josh Robinson podcast group. He has Wrestling Reverb is one of the big ones. Wrestling Rewind, where he watches old shows and stuff as well. It's him and a dude from America, I think. Well, he has an American accent, whether he's in America from America, but it's jarring because his accent is incredibly Australian, his is incredibly American, and it hurts the brain. But it's a fantastic show. It's a fantastic show nonetheless. So big thank you, dudes, for supporting him. Go check out his stuff. But yes, Howard Finkel, he has passed away. Now, Jem, I think he may even been before your time.
He was, yeah. But it's a name that everybody knows. It's a household name.
Yeah.
So.
See, the problem that I have is when I hear Finkel, I think of Ace Ventura.
So do I.
A movie that hasn't aged very well at all.
Finkel and Einhorn and Finkel. Yeah.
Exactly. But at what and we got some rest in pieces in the chat from Josh and from Stephen. It wasn't someone that I didn't identify straight away from his face. Like even when we lost Mean Gene.
Mean Gene.
I knew who Mean Gene was. Even at the time, I was like, I know Mean Gene. I didn't know this gentleman, however, until I heard his voice.
Yeah.
And it's that voice that every time you think of all WWE footage, all WWF footage, that is the voice that you hear. He's that iconic ring announcer that all the ring announcers now try to emulate. Mm-hmm. So it is certainly a massive hit to the WWE in terms of the legacy. Sure. However, it is one of those disappointing things that even the greatest will at some point pass away, which is an incredibly morbid way to look at it, but even it will happen. So thankfully he lived to like 95 or something, which is downright insane.
Yeah.
In the best way possible. Jem, how do you want to start the show off?
I do not know. Maybe start from the top.
Yeah, we'll kick it off from the top. So the show did kick off with a moment of bliss with Braun Strowman as the guest. They were having a good old chat there. You know, because Alexa and Braun do have a history. They were part of the Mixed Tag Team Challenge 2 years ago. There was a bit of a possible love interest story there, which I really enjoyed because I would have loved to watch that. In the same way that I love Mandy and Otis, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
I would have very, very keen for some Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss smooching.
Yeah.
Would have gone well. But during their discussion, it is confirmed that Braun will be defending his Universal Championship at Money in the Bank against Bray Wyatt. Team Little Big, they were called, says Josh.
Oh, I love it.
What a name.
There's a Russian band called Little Big that I love.
Oh, dude, that's my son's favorite song right now is the Skibbity because it's just
I love it.
I love that song because the song's like it goes hard, and there's a couple other
good.
songs they have that go really hard as well. Like My Dick's
there's a
very
lot.
good. That's a good song. Yeah. And what's the other one?
Anti-Positive's really good.
Anti-Positive is good, and
I'm okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay goes hard.
Yeah.
But so it looks like the match will happen.
The other Little Big.
Yeah, speaking of Little Big, there's mention. So Strowman notes that there is no one that understands Bray except for Bray. However, he's probably the closest, not being part of the Wyatt family earlier on. Because for those don't know, when Bray Wyatt did come up, he did bring the likes of Rowan, Luke Harper, and himself and Bray Wyatt. Braun Strowman. Am I having a fucking stroke or what?
Yeah.
And Braun Strowman to create this little family unit when they first came on the scene. So there is good history here. I love it in terms of storytelling, which is what we're here for. I love it.
Long-term storytelling. It's coming full circle and it's awesome. Especially with the little addition of Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman noticing that present in the corner and freaking out while opening it to find his old mask. The fact that they're bringing those pieces back through as well, it helps tell that story and it makes it an eerie as shit story too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is one of those ones that I'm like, give me all of it.
Yeah.
It's definitely they're tying this back together. This is really exciting. Give me every last piece of it.
There are some things here, though. And I say this as I don't know how this is going to go. Mostly because, as we discussed last week, I like the title on Braun Strowman, but I don't think Bray should have it.
I think it's too soon. I don't see the title.
However, if we get a match between the two, Braun has nothing on Bray. Especially as the Fiend.
Yeah.
So that is what I do wonder. Now in the chat, Josh says, I never really say this stuff, but I straight up don't like Braun Strowman.
Ooh.
However, Steven comes in and goes, he doesn't do it for me either. Not that I don't like him, more so not invested in him.
Those are fighting words towards Ryan.
I'm a big Braun Strowman fan. I don't know what it is. Like, it's one of those things, like, if you ask me why do I like him, I'm like, I don't know. Like, something about him caught my attention when I started watching in a back end of 2018. And I don't know what it is. There was something about him.
He's come a long way.
He's come a long way. Seeing his growth in that time has really helped me. It really made me enjoy him further as well. I really enjoyed him as, like, he was a bit of a heel. I really enjoyed him when he turned face, and now he's like, I was very happy for him to finally become champion. Josh goes to me, he's just the big dude. And I do think that was certainly part of it, but I think there is a bit more to it as well.
He's a bit of an all-rounder.
Yeah.
I think one thing that made me giggle is, like, after I watch those shows, I do like to watch things like ups and downs and things like that. And Simon from What Culture did mention in his thing is, like, you know, for some reason the last couple of weeks, Braun has been coming out with this big shit-eating grin. He's like, it seems out of place. It seems like he's just murdered somebody and then on the fly come up with the, hey, if I smile real weird, nobody will know that I killed somebody because I'll be too focused on this.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels a bit like that. It's a very cheesy grin. I don't know,
because it is the same way that now that Drew McIntyre is champion, he too has become very smiley.
Yeah.
So it's this weird line of, like, they're two very heavily brooding characters, and it's a little bit bizarre for them to make this turn. Now,
I identify with the crowd by smiling.
So, but like for Braun specifically, what connected me to him is I enjoyed the struggle of his story. Yeah. As in, he's had all these opportunities and he's never been able to get across the line for whatever reason. And I really enjoyed watching him climb up to get to that moment. But then it's the same reason that I loved Californication, is because Hank Moody as a character is this self-destructive piece of shit. And, like, every time he gets right into the moment that he wants, he can't but help himself but, like, fuck it up. And I get maybe that's something I find compelling in characters. Maybe I relate to that in some way. Who knows?
See, I'm bummed for Braun because, like, I feel like obviously last year we had the big old build up to Kofi Mania. Like, you know, it was Kofi Mania, everything was crazy. And this year could have been Strowmania, but no, there was
Strowmania. Oh my God.
I just came up with that. You're welcome. It could have been Strowmania, but no, there was no build up to it. So hopefully he gets a longer run because I want my Strowmania.
Yeah, do you reckon he'll hold it for a year just for Strowmania?
I hope so. I'm gonna
in the chat. We should say Dad Body's here. He's very excited. Been watching his videos lately on, like, TikTok. He's fucking hysterical. He goes, hopes the podcast is going heavily. And Jacob's here saying, yo, Mad Dog Sport Californication. But apparently you fucking broke Josh Robertson. He goes, Strowman, he's wheezing. Yeah, I think you may have broken him.
You're welcome. Strowmania is a good one.
Yeah, that's right.
Even when I'm not 100%, I'm 100%. 60% of the time, it works every time.
But yeah, so I understand those that don't feel Braun. I don't know what it is. When I came onto the scene for the wrestling, he caught my attention pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And
I think what got me with this as well is after opening that box, there was, like, a photo brought up on the Titantron of Braun back in the day in the ring.
And it held on for so long.
Yeah. And then it just, like you hear Bray Wyatt's laugh, and then all of a sudden, like, you come back and everybody's gone. There's just, like, nobody in the ring, and it was super mysterious.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
It was awesome.
No, it was cool. I actually, like, I really wish the title wasn't involved because this is just a match I want to see just for the sake of a match. Like, I think it'd be very evenly balanced, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll definitely be a pulling point for Money in the Bank, which
we should get it before we get into the actual matches. Let's have a discuss Money in the Bank. So during the week they announced a showcase picture. Not showcase? What's it called? A poster. A poster is the word I wanted, but it's not what I wanted. They shown off what Money in the Bank will become. Money in the Bank is at its core. It is the fucking Raid. They are at the sadly now empty due to remote working WWE headquarters in
Orlando, Florida.
No, it's not Orlando. It's in a place. Not Jacksonville. That's AEW. Connecticut. Stanford, Connecticut.
That's it, Stanford.
There it is, right in Stanford. So what they have to do in order to get the Money in the Bank briefcase, from what they said, they start at ground floor. They then have to fight their way to the roof, where in the roof there is a ring, and hanging above that ring is a briefcase. Fuck me! If this goes well, this may be in fact the best Money in the Bank ever.
So the only way it's going to go well is if it starts with the opening hours on the door of the building and they're all out the front waiting, and it's just like, 2 minutes till, and they're like, come on. And then you hear like, bing, and the doors open and they all just bomb rush in. Yeah. That's the only way to do it properly. You have to make it like, oh, sorry, you're 2 minutes early. We open in 2 minutes.
I have a feeun this will be one of those lovely edit. This will be like Boneyard. Boneyard, the Funhouse style of heavy edited match in order to, because that would be exhausting. It's gonna be a big grave
like kung fu movie.
Oh man, I'm hoping people's desk gets wrecked. I hope people like this. But it's just like there's moments just like Civil War in the Avengers where they like scuffle in an elevator. And if you've seen the raid is a fucking fantastic movie. Yeah, people falling downstairs. It's going to be absolute chaos. Josh in the chat goes, I love this idea, honestly, making chicken salad out of chicken shit if it goes well.
Yeah.
Dad Bot it says that Money in the Bank match is going to be pretty legit. And because even just this, it's a great way to get around the idea of there being no crowd. Because once again, if doing it in an arena, they're going to notice that, right? But if they're like, look, it's on location, if they're on a roof, there can't be in a crowd on the roof.
Yeah. But it was like Boneyard match was engaging. And like you can't roll a turd in, like you can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter. It's like the best you can do is just make it as glitzy as possible, like that Boneyard match, and it's going to work out. If they execute it in a similar manner, they're sitting pretty.
See, now I refuse to. I don't really believe in the narrative that the WWE works best under pressure, because I find that more times than not has proven to be incorrect. However, what this has demonstrated, this is something that I believe in big time, is that creativity works on restriction, not freedom. So, like, if you are stuck within a particular structure, you will be more creative because you need to find ways to overcome and adapt those restrictions, right? So, if you're given absolute freedom to be creative, you will go subpar every time because you won't. There's no boundaries for you to push. Yeah. Where here, the problem is how do we do Money in the Bank potentially without an arena full of people, without allowing for social distancing, and allowing for all these different current circumstances, right? And their answer is, well, let's do it in an entire building. Let's put it on a roof so no one sees a crowd. Let's heavily edit it so that way it's still safe. And so I don't know about you, but like it kind of ticks all these boxes of new creative that I really like personally.
It'll be interesting to see for sure.
And especially now that we are seeing some of the names that have starting to hit this qualifying list and maybe even winning to get a shot there. So let's kick things off with Naomi.
Speaking of qualifiers.
So Naomi and Dana Brooke had a match here on SmackDown this week in order to get the opportunity at the Money in the Bank match.
Now, before this, there was a bit of a backstage segment with Carmella and Dana Brooke. Carmella coming up pissed, like, why are you having a qualifying match this week when we're contending, like, we're fighting for the titles next week? And Dana Brooke's like, hey, like, I'm a human. I can do more than one thing at a time. Like, I've got this. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
When opportunity knocks, Dana Brooke says, hey, and then flexes at it.
Yeah. Yeah, flex appeal.
That's right.
This did not at all go the way I was expecting it to, because Dana Brooke walked out with the win.
I knew you would be excited here, Jem, the second I saw that result.
Look, I honestly, like, athletically, I wanted Naomi to win this match.
Yeah.
As bad as it sounds, I think Dana Brooke's in a good spot with Carmella in the tag team titles. I don't think she needs this. I think this is something that Naomi should be doing. Agility-wise, like, she's she is Money in the Bank ladder match competitor physique, Naomi.
Well, if you look at her, if you compare it to last year, Dana Brooke was a standout performer at last year's Money in the Bank.
Oh, she was too, though. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I'm conflicted as shit. Like, I'm stoked for Dana Brooke to get that opportunity, but at the same time, I feel like Naomi would have been so much better fit.
And with this new Money in the Bank format, right? On top of that, there is also this new look at, okay, who will be able to be resilient enough to get their way to the top here. And I think Dana Brooke, comparative to Naomi, I think she would be a greater force to be reckoned with in this newly designed Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm. That's true. She's got the passion for it.
Yeah, she got the passion because, look, fun fact, they say in the chat that Dana Brooke has yet to win any titles or anything really in WWE. Dana, if you're watching, I know you're not, but if you are, we run a promotion at work using 2K20. You are currently in contendership for the Gamer Wrestling Enterprises title against Shayna Baszler in 2 weeks. So I'm just putting it out there. You've got three title shots here right now. You've got 2 that kind of count, I guess, and then the one that really counts, which is ours. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just so you know, Dana. Just so you know.
Money in the Bank and the Women's Tag Team Championships ain't got shit on the Gamer Championship.
Oh shit! Not at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited to see how this goes because, as you said, similar to you, I honestly thought Naomi had it. Just because looking at Naomi's build up into these matches, I was expecting that result from her, but that may not be the case. Now let's catch up on the chat here. Mad Dog has requested that there be some Vince appearance as well during the Money in the Bank ladder match. I hope that his office gets fucked up.
Oh, it will.
Because there's footage, there's photos of like that T-Rex skull on the wall and stuff. Someone needs to go through that shit. Someone needs to get smushed onto that.
And then they'll claim it as insurance so Vince doesn't lose any money.
Ryan, you missed a match. Oh, I did miss a match for Lockdown. Yeah, that's true. I did. I missed the Cruiserweight. Oops.
Oh, no.
That was work today. That's fine. We can reschedule that.
Yeah. Speaking of missing things, there was a promo video for the Forgotten Sons.
Oh! Sink that basket there. That's right. Okay. Last week we did see the Forgotten Sons have made their way up from NXT to become part of SmackDown to bring that no flips, just punching, just punching their way through, just fighting. With Revival not choosing to not renew their contracts. Forgotten Sons have come up to fill that void.
Free the Revival. Bring on the Forgotten Sons.
That's right.
I forgot about them because they weren't here this week. It was just a video package.
Yeah, just to sort of give me a little bit of love heading into the future. Now, they mention that they may be in a title opportunity later, but I want to talk about that last. That's the one thing I want to talk about last.
Yeah. Well, the Forgotten Sons are a mystery. And speaking of mysteries, we had another Hacker Man video.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And it was another basically like the truth will be heard video. And essentially it alluded to a tag team splitting up.
Now, I want to put this out here right now. Okay, I saw this on the internet and I saw this at the hands of Josh Robinson. There is an incredible conspiracy theory that the Iconics are the hackers. Or they're involved in it. There is
that would be cool.
Fucking exceptional conspiracy theory. I'm going to let you talk about this video while I pull it up.
Okay. Well, yeah. So basically, the video shows snippets of flashes of tag teams. I think Miz and Morrison were in there. Yeah. Hey ho ho. I can't remember who else was in it. But yeah, basically it's the truth will be heard and these people are gonna, which will be interesting to see. I'm interested to hear about this conspiracy theory though, because
I'm trying to find it. I'm not having much luck.
Yeah.
You tweet too much, Josh. You tweet too much.
But yeah, that's interesting because there's obviously a lot of theories going around that it's Ali, which
I have a feeling that it might be, but I do believe the Iconics may be involved.
Obviously, that's the light on his hand. And
see, now I responded to it, but I tweet too much, so.
It's a lose-lose. No, but it's going to be really interesting to see, that hacker person, bringing that all to light. Yeah.
I will find this theory. I will find it.
We'll find it. He will find it.
I'm not having much luck.
I've got a segue, but it's probably too soon
do,
to do
do,
it.
do, 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 do,
'Cause I'm good at that sort of
Where
stuff.
is it? God damn it! I tweet
there
so much. What
You
the
don't
hell
realize
is
you do
wrong
until
with
you look
me?
for something and you're like, oh my god, I tweet so much.
I do. I really tweet so much.
Wow.
Why can't I find it?
Oh no.
All right, I'm gonna need your help here, Josh. I'm gonna have to come back to it.
DM Betson. But like, speaking of like, the whole like we're gonna hear the truth thing, we did have a little Sonya and Mandy moment.
We did.
So obviously the
I'll let
truth
you
was
take
exposed.
this.
Yeah, the truth was exposed by this person, whoever they may be. And Sonya basically came to the ring and was like, Mandy, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Where? Mandy comes to the ring and suddenly, like, she calls Mandy out. Mandy comes out and then she calls Mandy out.
Oh.
And she's just like, you've got no talent, you're trash, you've been holding me back all this time. If it wasn't for you, I'd be like where I'm supposed to be and this, that, and the other. And she's like,
Found it.
Oh, you found it?
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
We'll do it. Do you want to go now? You want to do it after Mandy?
Oh, we'll finish this one up and then
Okay,
we'll go into
yeah,
it.
we'll do that.
But yeah, basically like Sonya just rips Mandy a new one beautifully too, like absolutely
Sonya
flawless
Deville
delivery.
fucking smashed it. Absolutely
so underrated.
smashed it.
I knew she had it in her and she absolutely smashed this. And she's like, basically I got Dolph involved because when Otis came into the picture, like you started acting like I didn't exist. And Dolph comes out and is like, come on, like you can't tell me you didn't feel anything. And while Mandy's distracted, Sonya takes that cue to like attack. And Dolph Ziggler's like, what are you doing? And, Mandy and Sonya like beating the shit out of each other. And then Otis comes out to attack Dolph Ziggler and, saves his peach Mandy Rose basically while Sonya and Dolph do a runner. But it looks like Fire and Desire are no more.
They're
That's
dunskies.
why I have no fire or desire.
This is what I loved, right? Because it came out and Sonya is it's like she's bearing her soul here.
She really did.
In terms of like she's demonstrating that she's hurt, that she's broken at the hands of Mandy Rose. Mandy finally comes out and she's like, you know what? No, fuck you. This is my time. Now, Sonya unleashed absolute hell here, and the best thing about this is the whole time I'm like, yeah,
I believe you.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know what?
you're
Fucking
right.
yeah. You have been stuck behind Mandy Rose. That's right. You are the fighter. Oh, she just fucking looks good. I feel you, Sonya. I'm feeling you.
Yeah. It was really passionately delivered and very, very, very convincing on Bailey, which we'll get to later.
Look, I'm a little bit disappointed, however, that Dolph Ziggler did come and get involved. I knew he would because he's a piece of shit. But like, it really put a fucking blew all the momentum of the two of them.
I don't think so, because I think Dolph giving that distraction gave Sonya her like
but I mean, like,
to show that she's an opportunist.
The tension of that moment was palpable. Like I had like jaw to the floor. I was like taking it all in. I'm like, what's gonna happen? Then Dolph's I'm like, oh fuck, and he's like, come on, baby, no, I still love you. I'm like, fuck off. Let them talk to each other. Let them fight it out, which is convenient because, as you mentioned, Dolph caused lovely distraction. Sonya just fucking dive punches her in the face.
Yeah,
wrecks her day.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I'm sorry, like this storyline just keeps getting better and better.
It does. Now we should also mention kayfabe removal. It is very sad to hear that the woman that created this whole story was one of the people to lose their job recently.
Joking.
So a heart goes out to her because you've delivered one of the best things to come out of WWE in at least the last like fucking 6 months to a year.
Long time.
So thank you so much. Kayfabe back on. But I can't wait to see where this goes. I really can't.
Neither. It's going to be so freaking good.
Yeah. So like, it's one of those things because I was thinking that like, oh, okay, Otis got the girl. This is the end of this, right? They like, what can they go from here? But I like where this is going because like in terms of all the teams that have seemed like, there's always been this weird, like I wouldn't say a weird pairing, but like a weird feeling between the two of them, not like a tension, but like will they, won't they? There was a couple of those sort of
Yeah.
attempts at like, some sort
Are
of...
they going to be a thing? Are they
some
not
sort of
gonna be?
same-sex couple thing, but like,
Yeah.
when you can tell very quickly, it's much more than that. Like they in terms of their connection were greater than that. But then you could always find these chinks in that armor, whether it be the time that Mandy had all those copies of her Sports Illustrated or GQ or whatever it was.
The Aussie, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever magazine that was, and Sonya's left there holding the stack like some sort of secretary or lackey. It's there's all these little things over time because incorrectly she has been treated second to Mandy this whole time.
Sure has.
And she certainly shouldn't have been.
No. So what was this theory about the Iconics?
All right, here is the
Speaking of
theory
female
about the
tag teams?
Iconics. All right, this is from a woman named Rachel at Start a Riot with 2 T's _ The Iconics are the mystery hackers, a thread. The girls lost their last match against Becky and Charlotte, 2 women who aren't even a tag team or even like each other. The hacker says, quote, some keep their friends close, others keep their enemies closer, end quote. While showing a number of tag teams, what is this is the start of them making themselves the superior tag team. The Mandy Otis love story started barely a month after their last appearance. This gave them an outlet to ruin Fire and Desire, a competing women's tag team. The video clip shows Bliss and Cross, a team that beat the Iconics for their titles, who have been successful since. What if the Iconics are in fact seeking revenge? Sasha Banks and Bayley have been shown as well, a duo that have had some problems for weeks now. The Iconics want to make sure that they are no longer successful in the women's division by possibly revealing a secret. It has also been rumored that the girls will be getting a new gimmick. Could this be it? Overall, the girls deserved the push they should have had during their title reign period. What better way to make story more interesting by putting the Iconics behind it all? We know it was them.
That could work. I feel like with the Iconics, it'd be like they'll claim that was them. Or maybe they're working in cahoots with Ali and they're making like a faction.
That would be amazing. Mad Dog, Hacker Girl, Peyton, yes please.
Yeah.
That's right. See, you know me. It's been well documented of my love for the Iconics.
Yeah.
So I think this would be absolutely fantastic. Now, we haven't seen them in a very long time, and that does break my heart. But do you think this is what they could need? Now, I know Josh is a fan. He goes in the chat, same, because I noticed in one of his TikToks that he has the Australian one. So he has the Iconics logo, but it's the Australian flag. I do want to buy it, but I don't think you can get it anymore, which makes me sad. Plus, fucking shipping costs are damn near just absolute stupid. I do need to yell at... I yelled at them on Twitter and they didn't respond. So it's eat a dick, WWE shop. But what are you thinking, Jem? Do you think that this is a substantial theory?
I think it's a good theory, but I think that's all it is. I don't think it's the Iconic. I think it's just a little bit too far-fetched and it's not WWE's MO.
Yeah. So Bad Dog saw my tweet and supports it. Dadbod also saw that tweet and he goes, holy crap, those shipping fees are way too high. Now, Dadbod, you're in the US. So is there a way that I can send it to your house? Do you send it to me? And like, would that be cheaper in some way? And I'll put a bit of money, give you a couple of Aussie dollar dues as well, just to sweeten
the title of Aussie Sweetheart.
Sweeten the pot, and you'll become the official Aussie Sweetheart just by helping me get my wrestling shirt on. You know what I'm saying? I'm down to help you, and I'm down to find ways to help you back.
Awesome.
I will help those in need. I'll send you. Maybe I can send you like some. I think I can send food right now. I can send you some like Aussie delicacies.
Tim Tams.
Tim Tams.
Oof. Anyway, back to what matters.
Oh yeah, sorry, breath.
Instead of Ryan's financial shipping woes. So obviously, like mentioning the Iconics, they are somebody we haven't seen for a while. And another person we haven't seen for a while is Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Now, it's starting to look like Jeff Hardy is going to end up with a feud with Sheamus.
Yeah, so he's been given a bit of love lately. Rumor has it that he was going to be given a push ahead of Mania. However, it didn't come to go that way. But having him in with Sheamus, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it hard.
Yeah, 100%. So last week when the commentary were mentioning something, Sheamus looked back at them and he just stared, and I was like, what did they mention that made him trigger? And then this week they were talking about Jeff Hardy, and Sheamus, like, he ended up approaching them and he's like, don't talk about him. Like, no, don't you dare talk about Jeff Hardy. And
is there a history here that I don't know?
Not that I can remember. I could be missing something. It could be part of my hiatus, I guess. But it's definitely seeming like Sheamus has a target, and that target is Jeff Hardy, because Sheamus this week, as always, was in a squash match basically against Denzel Dejournette from NXT, I believe.
Sounds like mustard.
He really does. We've seen Denzel twice now, which is cool. It's nice to see them getting, repeat shows. But I'm 100% interested in this because, Sheamus obviously hasn't done anything since he came back. Nor has Jeff Hardy. I think this is a perfect way to assimilate them back into the main storyline, is putting them together, because they're going to be one hell of a match. Like, Jeff Hardy's got the speed behind him, he's got the agility behind him, and then you've got Sheamus, he's a hard hitter, but he's quite agile as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go.
Both of them have a lot. Both of them have a lot to prove. So Sheamus was gone for a long period of time due to injury. Jeff Hardy's had a staggeringly wonky history. So
and he was injured for the longest time too. They had to relinquish their titles because of it.
Exactly.
He and Matt.
So I do think that both of them they do have something to prove here. Like, this is a match. This is a match of them both being relevant.
Yeah.
Just an attempt to stay relevant. And I think that's kind of where the momentum here is. Because looking in the chat here, both Josh and Jacob confirm that there is no major history. Jacob goes, other than tag team stuff and the Hardys return, Jeff and Sheamus have nothing.
Yeah,
and we're not going to see any of that tag team stuff, especially with Matt Hardy no longer there and Cesaro doing his own stuff. It's not going to be. It's likely we're not going to see that crossover in that way.
Right. Speaking of injury, how is Elias not dead yet?
Yeah, he's fucking doing. Like, everyone, I didn't realize Elias was this strong of a man.
Yeah, neither. He's been pushed off a balcony, and this time he got absolutely mauled by King Corbin, which I thought this was done, by the way, but apparently not.
Me too. I thought it was done too.
Yeah, King Corbin just beat the shit out of him, throat punched him in the throat with the scepter, just absolutely belted him with a guitar, absolutely just brutalized poor Elias.
The sounds that came out of Elias were harrowing.
Yeah, 100%. So look, I don't know, I'm over this already. I thought this was done. I have no investment in this going further.
We didn't have it the first time.
Yeah, exactly it. It's just they're beating a dead horse.
Josh mentions in the chat your phrasing. That he was throat punched. He throat punched him in the throat, which is what you.
I mean, shut up.
You're not wrong. That is exactly what happened.
Sure that everybody knows where it happened.
Yeah, you don't want to say he got throat punched in the knee or something. That would be confusing.
I know, exactly right.
She's being thorough.
I am. I'm being thorough.
Yeah, she's been Louis Theroux. All right. Jem is my favorite. Says Josh. Oh,
you're so sweet.
Fucking valid though. Out of the two of us, she is the superior one.
I'm tired from uni work. Be nice to me.
See, I'm just tired because I'm shit. See, look at that. That just demonstrates further why she is better. She is becoming learned. I did have work today, but she's learned. She is better.
Speaking of better, how about we talk about Bayley and Sasha Banks?
Oh, I didn't know. I'm not sure where that segue went, but I'm feeling it.
Yeah, no. Well, they think they're better than everyone.
Fuck yeah! Well done. There you go.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we did have the number one for was it a number one contenders match? It
It
was meant
was,
to
yeah.
be. I don't
So,
know.
no. So Tamina approached last week Bailey and saying, "I want a shot
Yes.
at the title," and she's like, "Sure, if you beat Sasha, fuck her."
If you beat
and then,
Sasha, yeah. So still, yeah.
then she kind of ran away like a child. And
Yeah.
then this week we had Tamina versus Sasha.
Bailey on commentary.
Bailey on commentary. If Tamina wins, she gets a shot at that belt.
Yeah.
And
And-
motherfucker, she get a shot at that belt.
She's getting a shot. So it was said that, like, I can't remember who said it, but like Tamina has this viciousness to her right now. And it's like a very passionate, very fiery, very like, I've not seen Tamina like this, and I'm excited for it. Like, she's really got that power behind her. So yeah, obviously, as Bailey does to sort of guarantee that Tamina didn't get the win, she was interfering constantly. But to level the playing field, turns out Tamina has a friend, and that friend is Lacey Evans.
No Nia Jax here, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Lacey
no,
Evans.
Jack's here. Lacey Evans. Who would have thunk it? And yeah, Lacey comes down and just fully just takes out Bailey, like viciously, which allows Tamina to get the win. Which was exciting.
It's interesting because I think Tamina could have got the win without the assistance.
Yeah.
However, I understand Lacey's approach. She's like, look, I'm not going to get a title shot. I'm just here to fuck Sasha Banks' day up.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly right. Which is what she says in an interview later. Yeah, but she's like, I'm coming after Sasha. I'm gonna go wherever she goes. I'm gonna, be wherever she is. And she has like on her hand, she's got like Sasha with like the red circle and the line through it.
Right, no smoking,
yeah,
Sasha.
on her woman's right. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to see that. I don't know. Like, it's interesting to see that they're trying to carry this storyline on. I don't really think it's a good choice, but at the same time, like, I think it was really awesome to see somebody other than Nia Jax being Tamina out. And the fact that Lacey's like, I don't care about the belt, I care about revenge. Like, it's really cool to see that it's not.
I think it's cool to have a different woman in the title picture. And that's what makes me excited about it. Because, like, it's this weird line of Tamina getting a good run. Now, I honestly thought that Tamina would have been in this match at Mania, and that would have been it. Like, she would have gone away again. But
no.
I think that time away had really actually helped her and motivated her to become, as Josh said in the chat, Tamina the Machine. No. Yeah. He put the A at the end.
Yeah, Tamina the Machina. Yep.
I made up the A at the end. I think it's just
Tamina the Mina Machina.
Oh. Machina. Nope, that was pretty bad. Yeah. But I like this.
Yeah, so do I.
Only because
element of surprise.
If Bailey gets dethroned by someone who just comes up and being like, "Hey, I want to go."
Tough. Yeah.
And there's like, "Oh, okay." And then oh my god, if she fucking takes that title off Bailey,
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so good. I think though, what would happen most likely is it'd be like a Money in the Bank thing where Tamina's a match with Bailey. Whoever wins the women's Money in the Bank is gonna cash in that night and try and take out Tamina while she's injured.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
like we've seen cash in on the same night before, but.
Yeah, but that's the only way you're going to do it with Tamina is once she's sort of like, Bailey's definitely going to give her a run for her money by evading her. He's going to wear her down.
Or if Bailey retains but like gets the shit kicked out of her by Tamina.
Tamina, yeah. Vice versa. Either way, yeah.
What if this is Sasha's way in?
Yeah. Yep.
You heard it here first. Tamina will lose or she'll win either way. But whoever holds it will get...
The title is changing hands probably multiple times in the span of a couple of minutes.
Jacob goes, that kills the illusion though that the women's Money in the Bank isn't in the same building. That's very true. But I don't know.
I mean, I think the women's Money in the Bank is...
Or she has it for like 3 days and then gets jacked up on the weekend. Like...
Yeah, or the Raw after or whatever, the SmackDown after.
SmackDown after. What else we got, Jem?
We had, speaking of Money in the Bank, another qualifying match, which was Daniel Bryan with Drew Gulak in his corner versus Cesaro.
Now, I'm late to this. I've had to pee for the last 5 minutes. So
do it.
All right, you talk this, and I'm going to go with. Bye.
Okay. Well, Daniel Bryan versus versus Cesaro with Gulak and Shinsuke in the corner. I can't words. This is a hell of a match. So as we already know, we've spoken about it multiple times. Both Daniel Bryan and Cesaro, phenomenal wrestlers. Putting them in the ring together is just a match made in heaven. And it feels like finally the WWE is properly utilizing Cesaro. Like, you can tell he's just an all-round amazing worker. So, I was really excited to see this. Interestingly enough, though, there was little to no involvement from Nakamura, which I was not expecting. At the end of the match, he did try and stop the yes lock Daniel Bryan had locked in on Cesaro, but Gulak caught him and dragged him straight back out of the ring, which caused Cesaro to tap. And Daniel Bryan moves on to the Money in the Bank match, which has to happen. Like, Daniel Bryan has to be in that match. Like, as much as I love Cesaro, I don't think he's cut out being a taller guy for those sort of ladder matches and stuff like that. I think, Daniel Bryan really gives it that something. I'd refer to the chat about this right now, but unfortunately I do not have access to the chat. But I do want to hear your thoughts about it. I'm sure Ryan wants to read your thoughts about it. I don't know. I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. I mean, if Daniel Bryan's in that, in the Money in the Bank match, you already know it's going to be a good match because he puts 110% into everything. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I've got to fill dead air, I guess. Really good match, really good spots. There was this amazing bit where Daniel Bryan jumped off the top rope and jumped on Cesaro, and Cesaro turned it into a body slam or something like that. I'm just talking about how good this match between Cesaro and Daniel Bryan was.
Yeah, it was good.
It was just amazing. I was saying the top where Bryan jumped off the top rope and Cesaro caught him and body slammed him or something.
It was one of those great things. It's two technicians being excellent, going at it.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Yeah.
You know how much better I feel now. I've been holding that. I feel like I've been holding that whizzing for days. That was a cathartic experience. All right.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
I did mention the chat if they have anything to say about the Daniel Bryan being in Money in the Bank. I don't know if
I like it. I do enjoy it. Now, I'm wanting some clarification here, Jem, around the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, does this can allow for any championship, or is it only the big ones?
No, any championship. Title of your
do you think we will see if Daniel Bryan does happen to win, he then just goes, I don't even want the big belts. I just want to fucking ruin Sami Zayn's day.
I'd imagine. Yep, I'd imagine it.
I'd like that a lot.
Yep.
Personally.
I could see that happening for sure.
But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with Daniel Bryan. It's this weird line. It's like having the pair together. I was like, well, Cesaro has got a history of not winning, but he's also had a history with ladder matches. So I'm like, But then he did also touch the ladders before he came into the ring. I'm like, isn't that normally a bad sign? You don't touch the belt. You don't touch there's that weird rule. It's like the king of the ring rule. But okay, no, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think Daniel Bryan will be great. Because we got next week. There's who's next week?
I cannot remember.
Because it's Sasha Banks versus one. And that's very accurate of me. I'm sure the chat will let me know. Chat, who's the Money in the Bank qualifiers next week?
Yeah.
They'll come back to me.
Yeah. But yeah, that only leaves us with one last piece for the night.
The last part, this is where it was. So the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. So this was the coin flip of WrestleMania. So we had Jey Uso, we had Big E, and we had The Miz for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. No stipulations here, Jem.
None.
Straight up match.
Standard.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah. again, didn't expect it to
Fucking
go that way,
loved it.
but
So
awesome.
the thing that I really liked at the start, Big E comes out of the gate really strong. He's ringside. He's for some reason talking to commentary. He's like, "Hey, we're out of the way. This is my plan. I'm gonna come back for this. This is gonna be my plan. All right, ready for this? You ready?" And then he clears the desk. And then oddly, I guess it's the friend of my friend is Miami or whatever. The Miz and the Uce team up together to fucking wreck Big E through the table.
Yeah.
Which is so
Look, I think
Sorry,
I was going to say the best thing about this for me was in the promo, because before the match, obviously everybody had promos. Jey Uso was like, "I'm going to win," and then the Miz was like, "No, I'm going to die." And he was like, "Why am I a single competitor having a tag team title match? But I'm going to win." And like he just kept breaking the fourth wall by making that point so evident, which I think was the funniest thing. But yeah, absolutely wrecked for that table, as you were saying.
What I really enjoyed is they do go on an ad break, but then they come back and it's just Jay just fucking everybody up and fast.
Yeah.
Like the pace from after that ad break is what I absolutely love the Usos for. Mm-hmm. They are fast, they are brutal, and they are fearless because they are. Yeah. He is bussing ringside with the Miz, yeets the Miz out the side, runs out. Big E just gets up from going through the table. So eat dick. Then Jay just jumps at his face. Jay gets up in seconds, comes back to the ring, like eat dick, Miz, and then jumps at the Miz, and it's just. This isn't a matter of like 4 seconds, not even.
Yeah, he's so fast.
I absolutely love it. And there are a couple of pin attempts there with no success. Yeah. A couple of skull crushing finale attempts by the Miz. Mm-hmm. Gets one on Uce and then gets him in the. It's almost like he knew that he would tap because the way he pins him was with his leg ready to go. So the second he goes for the pin attempt, Jay kicks out. Miz turns into a figure 4 leg lock, and I'm thinking this is it. This is done. Big E is dead. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And he pulls that shit tight. Like that was a lovely tight figure 4.
The way Uce's foot was sitting, I was like, "Oh, I've got cramps just thinking about it."
My calf is hurting. And then Big E comes in and just scoops up Miz. Big ending. 1, 2, 3. Your 8-time tag team champions, The New Day. Xavier Woods, the 2-time sitting at home on the couch with an injury tag team champion.
I love those little like FaceTime promo videos. They were great.
They were awesome.
Such a good ad. And then like coming back to the ringside, like Big E's just rolling around like molesting.
Tongue bashing those titles.
Yeah, he was having his way with those belts. And like I love Big E so much.
I think it was Morrison tweeted something about he wants to come back for those titles, but after disinfected, of course, because Big E won't stop licking them.
Yeah. But no, that was an awesome way to end the show. Like
it's just fascinating because during that match, I'm like, this is the Usos for sure. We're gonna have the 7v7 tag team champion. You know, that's Uso and New Day. That's what I want to see. I want that rivalry on who is the better. But we're getting a Charlotte Flair circumstance here where the New Day are just exceeding their lead. They are now 2 title reigns ahead of Usos.
I reckon that'll light a fire under the Usos and they'll have a come.
But the other problem here as well is they would then have to win them off the New Day, bringing them to 7, and then someone else would have to win them, and they'd have to win them back in order to meet that 8 for 8. So like it's that weird
Unless
line.
They end up. Oh no, they won't. Never mind.
You think about numbers. It's a numbers game here, Jen.
Yeah. We will see.
Because it's not about collective reign, because currently the New Day hold the record for the longest tag title reign, right? And collectively over their X amount of championship wins. So it would have to do a hot potato, as Mad Dog says in the chat, which I'm not comfortable with, but it's one of those things. Like, is where's to go from here? Yeah. Will we get Usos versus the New Day? I think we will. I think that's where it goes because Miz took the pin here, not the Uso. Fascinating, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it, Jem?
I don't know. I really
where
don't
do
know
we see the titles go?
Here. I'm stumped. Stumped, yeah.
Yeah, seeing as it was not the result that I anticipated or was sort of imagined, I didn't really. I kind of almost like I didn't think of the result. I watched the match, going, "Oh yeah, this is a title match. Yeah, cool. oh wait, who else is going to go? Oh no. And then I didn't think about it until the result happened. Then I went, oh, oh indeed. Yeah. But anyways, that does bring us to the end of this week's episode of the Young and the Restless SmackDown in Review. Now, Jem, what did you think of this week's episode overall?
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't the best in the world. Got with the news and stuff we got of what Money in the Bank is going to be, I'd probably call it right down the middle and give it a curve.
I'm going to give it a curtain a bar. I enjoyed myself pretty much all the way through it. We had the, as we mentioned, we had the Bray Wyatt Braun stuff, which I'm a fan of because I like that long-term storytelling. The title match at the end of the night was really cool. The contenders were really awesome, apart from Sheamus, but then again, it's building to a feud that I kind of care about. Sonya's promo overall was absolutely fantastic. As its collective pieces put together, it was a pretty solid SmackDown. Like, not a lot happened, but good. It was still good stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, there was no monumentous stuff.
Yeah. See, sorry, I'm just
right.
breaking the place. I feel like because not happened in that respect, it kind of, dampened the experience for me a little bit. I could be a bit jaded from, obviously, the...
Well, I'm trying to be as critical as possible, removing the jadedness, because that, as part of a review, is to remove those personal feelings. So, because I myself am still pretty fucking bummed out. Like, to be honest, didn't actually watch it. I watched barely any of it on Saturday when it actually aired. I watched most of it today. So, I too get you, Jem, because I was like, I'm not going to fucking watch it.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it on the weekend, but I had, this show goes on, so I forced myself to watch today, and I'm glad I did, because everything else I thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah,
pretty solid overall. For sure. I feel like the best is yet to come, so. Yeah,
it should be cool. I'm actually oddly excited to what Money in the Bank becomes. But this SmackDown in Review comes you every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/groups/thepopculturist, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in the down below area. If you want to support us and watch the show as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you can watch it alongside the likes of Josh Robinson, with Mad Dog, Dad Bod, Jacob, a bunch of awesome names that are in the chat here. I don't think I missed anyone, but it's all good times. Another way you can do, if you would be so kind, you can share this wrestling conversation. You can tell your friends, you can tell your family. Hey, and if you've made it all the way through to the end of the show here, why don't you go to like your podcast service of choice, where it be Apple iTunes, it's not Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, give us a star rating. 5 is preferred, but give us what you think this show deserves. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us some love. Tell your friends, tell your family. There's Josh will tell his cat she will love it. Mm-hmm. I do hear that we are number 2 in wrestling podcasts for Josh's cats. Obviously, he's his number 1, understandably. Yeah.
But, we're number 1 for my cat here. So,
see, that's right. So it balances out. We're technically 1 and a bit. All right. Averages are amazing. Yeah. But yeah, tell your friends, tell your family, let them know about this little wrestling podcast. Hopefully, it'll give you a little bit of funsies. And we understand that it is a difficult time, but if you do want to support us financially, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist or our merchandise store at popculturist.com/shop. Or you could do what the lovely Josh Robinson did this week by donating us $4 dues in on Twitch 420. On 420. Blaze it. Thank you very much, Smart. Josh. He also adds Mad Dog says great show as always. Thank you. Josh goes great stuff as usual, fams. This is genuinely one of my favorite times of the week. I love coming in here. Thank you, Josh. We love having you here, man. I do try my best to drop into your shows, but the timing's always off. Like I'm at work, or it's too like yesterday one was too late because I'm old, went to bed. But I listen to your show like all the fucking time. So the love is here, as I said, because Josh is a perfect example of what we want to deliver here. We want to deliver a positive, wrestling community as I have a second stroke apparently. This is my second in the one show. That's pretty impressive.
I had one earlier.
Because Jem, you saw at the hands this week that the wrestling community sucks.
Oh, absolutely vicious.
As we talked about, with your stance on with Lawler, which is a valid stance. So we like Josh want to grow and help share that positive wrestling community here. We know wrestling's dumb. That's why we like it. That's why we love it. Yeah. That's why we talk about it with you each and every week. But until we return a little later to talk about Monday Night Raw, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jem.
And we'll see you then.
Good night.
The Young and the Restless, the Pop Culturist WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damian Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.